Mickey's Roundup is fabulous. This is actually one of the least complex episodes of Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, by which I mean the plot is very straightforward and it all takes place pretty much in the same area of the clubhouse, and yet it's one of the most directly educational. The costumes are fantastic. Me watching it as a big kid who just likes to watch Disney things, I had a lot of fun with it, and for the younger audience member watching it for educational purposes as well, they will learn to count to 10, no problem. This is the 10th episode of the second season, and in this episode, Professor Von Drake is expecting a package, and this package arrives, but unfortunately, the contents of this package spills out, and the contents just so happens to be numbers. And these numbers are now running wild around the clubhouse. We have numbers from 1 to 10. And Mickey and friends now have to go to extreme lengths to round up these numbers. Of course, they do it in fun style. They don cowboy hats and they use skipping ropes as lassos, and it becomes a bit of a mild version of a western as they have to go to extreme lengths to try and round up these numbers. And interestingly, they don't do it in sequence. I would have expected them to round them up in order, starting with number 1 and then number 2, but that's not really a big problem, because every time they capture a number, it's put up onto a board, so the children watching it can see the numbers in sequence. So maybe it would have worked slightly better if they'd been done in sequence, but it's not the biggest issue. That would have also worked more interestingly because number 10, of course, is the biggest number and would have made the biggest effort to capture, and you kind of would have built up to that crescendo. But really, I'm just nitpicking at this stage. I think it's a lot of fun. It's a great way for children to learn about numbers. Mickey dresses as a cowboy. I love Minnie's pink cowgirl hat. She looks adorable. They're trying to round them up into a pen. We have various animals helping out as well. I think it's really great. It's not the most detailed narrative. It's pretty straightforward. And yet, it seems to be one of the most compelling. The way in which they capture some of the numbers as well are not as expected. For example, just an example, Mickey Mouse tells a joke to number 9. I won't say what the joke is, but I will say I completely rolled my eyes. It's a very old joke that you will definitely have heard at some point. And in fact, I'll tell you the joke, but I won't tell you the punchline. So if you haven't heard it, you can check out the episode. And the joke is, why was 6 afraid of 7? I won't say any more than that, but I'm sure you've heard of the joke at some point. But they told that joke to number 9. 9 fell about laughing, and they were able to grab number 9 while he let his guard down. The animation for the numbers, I think, is brilliant and very cute, very adorable as well. I think it's a very sweet episode that's brilliantly performed with the voice cast. The animation is great. The costumes had just a little bit of touch. Sure, it wasn't necessary that Mickey Mouse put a cowboy hat on, but it just adds a little bit of something extra to it that I think was a really lovely touch. Mickey's Roundup is quite simple in premise and fantastic in execution, and all round a really great episode.